Yo, 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 what's up, guys? Welcome, welcome. Happy Monday. I hope everyone has been fine so far. I hope you guys enjoyed your weekend, had a great time reviewing your trades, preparing for this year to absolutely smash it in the markets. How's everybody doing? What's up? What's up? What's up, Jerry? What's up, Shazai? What's up, D Forex, FX Capital, Body Man? Welcome, everybody. How are you guys, man? I'm personally doing great. No longer sick, thank God. Because last week was a little bit rough, but we good now. We're back to being normal. Back with full energy and good vibes to see what we get this week on the charts. Already took a trade. Nice W on gold here for me. I will be going over that trade here in a second as well. Yo, nice to see you as well, Shazaib. Welcome, bro. D Forex is good. Love to hear that. What's up, stock market? Welcome, welcome. Hey Haji, welcome to the stream. I'm glad you made it. I'm glad it's your first time. So typically how this goes is you guys basically just ask questions. You can feel free to ask me any questions regarding trading, strategy, psychology, mindset, business, whatever it is. Drop it in the comments and I'll try to go over every single questions that you guys have. And besides that, we're going to do a breakdown or I'm going to do a breakdown all the charts of gold. And if you have any other pairs that you want me to look at, you can feel free to drop it in the comments as well. And I'll you know, try to break it down for you as well. How to participate in the 10K giveaway. You still have to wait just a little bit until it's giveaway time. Until then, all I can say is just stick around and you will find out very soon. What's up, P8? Welcome, welcome. You're also buying gold. Yeah, gold is looking juicy right now for buys, actually. Like as of right now, if this 5 minute candle close like that, the way it's moving, it's looking pretty good. It's actually looking pretty good. Good morning, Toshi here. What's up, Toshi? Welcome back to the stream. I'm glad you made it. Gold has made all-time high. Yeah, trading gold at all-time highs can be a little bit tricky. So if you get in and get out, you should do it fairly quick. Don't try to hold this until like, I don't know, until like the universe. You still have to wait a little bit. But yeah, should we just check out the charts, guys? Should we check? Let's see. Um, Honestly, DeForest, I think that they probably have their reasons why it is, applied like that. But overall, when you buy a challenge, you can literally just click on enable news trading, and then you just add that as an add-on, and then you can just trade anytime. How you see gold and news 30 nowadays is very unpredictable. Yeah, I mean, all of the pairs are more or less unpredictable. We never really know how they move. Um, so that's why we have to apply risk management, right? Risk management and then stick to your rules. Yeah, all-time high, baby. Fashion of beard, it's nice. Thank you, appreciate you. All right, then let's check out gold, guys. Let's see what we get here. Let me share my screen. All right, I hope you guys can see my screen here. Now the 5 minute didn't close the way I wanted to. So that's why I'm telling, like, it's so important to always wait for the candle closures. If this candle would have closed above this previous market structure on the 5 minute, then that would have been the signal to get in on buys right here. But it didn't close above, so you probably basically still have to stay away, stay patient. Global uncertainty is causing gold to go up. Exactly. That's why overall gold will always be uptrending. Like if you zoom out on the bigger picture, gold has always been just gaining in value year after year after year. So in general, you have a higher probability of the trade playing out if you buy instead of selling. Obviously, there are good selling positions as well, but they're more short term. But if you're looking for more long term or trading with the trend, then you should always be looking for buys. Good afternoon. What's up, FX Diana? Welcome to the stream. So let's break down gold here, guys. So as always, we start off on the higher time frames. How did the weekly close? Oh, we had a gap. Okay, so the last week closed bullish, but it didn't quite bullish and go with the previous weekly candle. That's interesting, but overall we are obviously in a bullish trend. And now we see that on Friday we had a nice, very, very nice closure above the previous daily microstructure point over here. So this high was broken with this candle over here. We close above in form of a rejection candle, leaving a wick to the downside, meaning that the buying volume is there and they push price higher, right? So now coming into today, the market literally opened and just rallied all the way back up. So there could be a possibility of prices coming back down a little bit to retrace before then continuing breaking all-time highs. But honestly, at this point, we don't know because this is a very strong volume candle, and we're gonna have to wait and see how this daily candle closes to see where it would like to go the next um, the next few days. I have the exact same entry as your analysis. Let's go. That's a W. I'll break down the trade here in a second as well. So 4 hour time frame, we are in a breakout phase. We are in a breakout leg over here. So, we never know when the pullback will occur, but whatever goes up must come down sooner or later. So it could probably pull back like all the way to here and then continue in an expansion or extension higher because obviously we are looking for buys because the probability is with the buys. All trends on all time frames are literally bullish. So there's no real reason for you to be looking to sell. Yeah, period. Period. All right, so on the forward time frame, I marked off these zones of interest over here. My first one is at 45.43, right around this area over here. Why here? We had two touches, right? One and then two, and then we had an absolute big ass melt off to the downside, meaning that this area here is the area of interest where we could see a lot of liquidity risk resting. And then the second area I marked off is down here at the, let's say roughly, if we round it up, it's the 4500s is a key level. The banks and all the big hedge funds, they love key levels. So that's exactly what we saw here. On the left, we see price was struggling to break above and close above this area and kept rejecting to the downside. And then here we had another struggle, rejected to the downside before breaking up, retesting this area, and then continuing the rally up. So based off this area over here, obviously there was also a lot of liquidity that ended up pushing price higher and causing it to break out to all-time highs. 4 hour extremely bullish. Yes. What's up, Kus? Welcome to the stream, man. So now we go to the 1 hour time frame and see what we can see here. Now, typically when trading all-time highs, oh look, it's pushing again. So when trading all-time highs, I typically also take trades on the 1 hour time frame. Obviously, they're a little more aggressive because the lower the time frame, the more aggressive the entry. But today I took one here right at the pullback here, so it's also kind of in this area. Let me see if it's better on the lower time frames. So where's the rectangle? So I was already bullish, right? And I was looking to get in on buys somewhere here in this area, and then I got the entry signal over here, and I got in on the 5 minute time frame, had a 3 hour multiple right here. Wait, was it the? Yeah, so I was switching between the 5 and the 15 minute time frame over here. We saw a nice swing to the upside, and then we also saw that there were a few rejecting candles. Where's the arrows? Arrow over here. So we had rejection number one, rejection number two right here, like the one beside it. And then we had a break of structure to the upside here. So that's already three confirmations. And now what ultimately gave me the best signal was on the 15-minute time frame, because here we have a beautiful, beautiful morning star pattern. So I absolutely love high probability entry signals. And for me, the morning star or evening star pattern are like very high probability. So these three together, right? The red one doji rejecting the downside and a bullish candle engulfing all the two previous candles, super juicy. So yeah, I got in on buys here, target at 3R multiple, and I got out at a 3R. And I do believe, I mean, we're actually breaking out right now. Yeah, I do believe price will continue higher. But I just want to secure the profits here at the 3R and got out. Also because we're talking about all-time highs. Love the analysis. Appreciate you. I'm expecting gap fill on 4H and jump on train. 4H gap fill. Where is that? Down here? I mean, we could see it. I don't think that we will see it right now, obviously, but maybe tomorrow, maybe in the next few days, a pullback into this area or even into this area because we also have a big ass fair value gap down here. So I do see the potential of price pulling back here anytime soon. Clean trade, appreciate your functional. Thank you. But if we're looking at price right now, let's see what we could. Okay, I got locked out. That's crazy. Uh, how do I? Okay, let's close this here. Okay. So where was I? Okay, yeah. So looking at price right now, um, this would have been an entry on the 5 and 3 minute time frame. This bullish candle over here, but honestly, that's a little more aggressive because it's not really based off a major zone like down here, like this zone down here or right here. It's more like in between two ranges. So it's basically in between this range and this range. So alternatively, you would have liked to enter down here at this range. If you missed out on this entry, then this would have been your second opportunity to get in on the 3 minute time frame. And then if we look at the 5 minute time frame, this candle was the one I told you guys to not get in because it was rejecting the upside still, right? So you don't really want to get in on a buy if it's rejecting the upside. So there was no entry here. And then the next 5 minute candle, that's the one that ended up giving the entry signal because now we broke structure to the upside, right? We just broke this previous 5 minute high, close above over here. So you could have gotten in somewhere here on this candle. And now let's see the potential target here. 5 minute. So if you guys are feeling aggressive, you could feel free to place your stops like below this 5 minute candle low. If not, then below this 5 minute structure. Now below this 5 minute structure, you will definitely be on the safe side here because it could still, come back down, bounce along this range, and then break out to the upside if there's not enough volume right now. So because this is the last 5 minute low structure point. And if it should come back down and literally break this 5 minute structure, then it's all good because it just invalidated your buy setup and you don't want to be in the market either way. So that's why I'm always talking about, knowing exactly where to place your stop loss is very, very key. You don't want to have your stop loss just floating random somewhere in nowhere. You want to have it somewhere where if price were to break you or, stop you out, it invalidates the trade idea you had and you are fine with minimizing your loss because a stop loss is nothing bad. A stop loss is something good because it literally stops your losses. So instead of having a big ass loss because you can't accept the fact that price is reversing on you and it just keeps melting, melting, melting and burning your account, you minimize your loss, you stop it, and then you reevaluate the situation and see, okay, I guess I just got stopped out on this position. But if price comes back down here and rejects again, maybe I could look to re-enter. And this time I'll place my stop loss below here. And now guess what? If I get stopped out again, then I'm done for the day because I don't want to, overtrade and just get in on a sell because it's selling right now. Because best believe if I get in on a sell here, it will just reverse and then continue bullish. And then I just blew my account and my emotions are all over the place. I always look for 5 minute my entry. Yes, 5 minute is my go-to, and then I just switch between the 3 minute and the 15 minute. What's also very key and important is to have this firstly have this timer on, right? The candle timer, and wait for the candle closures. because just for example here at one point, let me zoom in on a little bit on this one. So at one point, this 5 minute candle was above the market structure point, right? And then people that were impatient got in over here because they thought it would close above, but it ended up closing back below. And this is a very low probability entry signal, which you typically don't want to be involved in. In this case, it did end up playing out, right? It did end up playing out in your favor, but this is not really the essential thing you want to wait for. So that's why you wait for the 5 minute to close. No entry signal yet. You wait for the next 5 minute. It breaks out. Yes, this is an entry signal, and because we broke structure, and that's it. So now there are two things that could happen. Basically, you can reject this all-time high because there's probably too much liquidity resting up here. There are stop losses here. There's sell limits here. There's take profits here. So that's why we're seeing this reaction right here, right now. And now either the buyers will hold this area somewhere like over here and push price back up, or the sellers are too strong from this area here, from the all-time high, and will push price back down, probably all the way until what's that? Uh, 45.85s. So those are the two scenarios right now, but probability is with buys, obviously, because we're bullish. But anything could happen at this point. Um, Wait, let me go over the comments here for a second. Yeah, CPI tomorrow. Typically, the market is a little slower then. Mitigation blocks. I don't trade mitigation blocks. Quick question. I passed all the requirements on my 50K demo account. How do I level up? I got in last night at that low, made 4.5K. That's a W, bro. Honestly, level up is just by getting a real challenge and treating it like it's demo. That's the best thing you could do. Just treat it like demo. Don't be reckless, but also don't get emotionally too attached to it. And that will make you trade way, way better. Is the stop loss not too high? Yeah, so for this trade, guys, this is just an example if you were to get in on buys, but the safer stop loss will be down here, but your target has to be at least a 2 hour multiple. So target will be a random all-time high point, 46.46. So trading all-time highs can be a little bit risky. I already took my trade here. I'm out, but this is still a valid buy setup, to be honest. We also just pushed into this minor 5 minute fair value gap over here, and I'm currently rejecting, so it's looking pretty good. Nevertheless, once we hit here, it could still reverse back down. Do you think most traders lose money because they ignore fundamentals or because they let their emotions take over at the worst time? I believe it's actually the second option. I believe you can be a very good trader without trading fundamentals. Obviously, you still have to keep an eye on major news like red folder news, but I believe that the biggest issue that people or traders struggle with is actually the emotions. Great analysis. Thank you, William. The best worst right ratio for me is at least a 2 to 1. If it's below a 2 to 1, I don't take the trade. If it's above, it's very, very welcome. But my average is a 2 to 1 to a 4 to 1. Any live trades today? As of right now, no trade yet. No. I mean, I did take this trade over here, and this could be a potential setup, but I already took my trade for today, so I'm probably not going to be taking this one. Is gold being driven more by technicals or fundamentals right now? Overall, gold will always be driven by fundamentals. So if we see gold rising, it's not because it's a bullish trend, it will continue rising. It's more so it's rising because there's like global uncertainty. And every time when there's global uncertainty with politics and wars, all the people will take out their money from like companies and stuff and put it into gold because gold is called like the safe haven, right? So when everybody puts money into gold, then obviously it starts rising in price, because it becomes more and more valuable because people keep buying it. Is it making an information in 5 and 15 minute? I mean, it could, yeah, it could. We just have to wait and see how this 8 minutes, how this 15-minute candle closes. If it closes bullish above, then it's not really an information, more so a just a continuation. Will be something like this. And then if it closes above this line here, then I do see it coming all the way up. But if it does close back below the range, like below 46.16, it could some type like form of information, maybe even create a lower wick here on the 15 because this candle doesn't really have a lower wick. And then it's either going to bounce off and do this, or it's going to complete the information and probably come lower. These are the two scenarios, but I mean, there's always a risk, right, to any trade you take. So can't really predict the future. All we can do is just see what the market is doing right now and then act accordingly. When do I move my gold trade to break even? I move my stops to break even once I'm up a 1-to-1. So when I get in up on a position, I will basically, the moment I get in, drag this here, put it at a 1-to-1, right? You guys see this here? It's a 1-to-1. So what I would do is mark off right here as my TP1, because at this in this area I know I'm currently up 1%. So it's my TP1, and then I do this the exact same at a 2-to-1 R multiple. So I'll just basically copy this or clone this, drag this up here, and then I will put alarms like on this section. So once TP1 gets hit and I close above, like this 5-minute candle over here, I will then move my stops to break even, right? So over here, move stops to break even, and then it's already a risk-free trade, because for me there's no reason, like if I'm up 1% on my account, or if I'm up a 1 R multiple, there's no reason to not move my stops to break even, because let's say it does come back down. Let's say I was up $1,000 here, and $1,000 for some people can be a lot, right? So it's up 1,000, and the next thing you know, it just comes back down. And if I don't have my stops to break even, I'm up 1,000. Now suddenly I'm down 500, and then suddenly I'm down 800, and then suddenly I'm down 1,000, and I just lost 1,000, although I was already up 8,000. So that's very hard on your psychology, because you have to ask yourself, like, how would you feel if you could have ended the day with $1,000 in your bank account, but instead you ended the day $1,000 minus? Sucks. So how can we avoid that emotional barrier? By just, if you're up 1,000 or 1%, move stops to break even and then just let it ride. I would rather get stepped out at break even and just call it a day, than being up 1,000 and losing 1,000. I hope that kind of makes sense. Do you scale odd profits gold or close full positions? Um, I typically close full positions. So if I'm up a 1-to-1, it's that my trade goes to break even. I typically don't close at a 1-to-1. And if I'm up a 2-to-1, or yeah, like a 2-to-1, and I see volume dying down, then I will close as well at a 2-to-1. If I see a lot of momentum here, like here, I would just hold it for 3. Do you prefer break and retest or straight breakout entries on gold? I prefer break and retest, man. I absolutely love break and retest. That's like my bread and butter. But I do have 3 different setups. So I have a break and retest setup. Oh, we got a gap to the upside. We got buyers pushing in. So I have a break and retest setup. I have bounce plays, and then I have break of the low or break of the high setup. The break of the low or break of the high is the most aggressive, and it's my least favorite with the lowest win rate I have. And the break and retest setup is my highest win rate, and then the bounce plays is like a median. What makes gold as a safe haven asset? Because throughout the last, I don't know, like 200, 300 years, gold has steadily been rising in value because people put value into it. So ultimately, gold is only rising because people believe that it is it is what is, how do you say it in English? that it is like worthy, right? So it's basically worthy because people say that it's worth something. So that's why it's considered a safe haven. So ultimately, if we go all the way back in time, it was just a psychological reason why it was rising, if that makes sense. And now it's so anchored in all the people's heads that it's actually a safe haven. Look, we're pushing out now, guys. Let's go. Maybe some of you could take the buys. If this 50-minute candle closes above this area, like I said previously, in the next 3 minutes, I think that it should continue rising here. Also, the 30-minute has to close above. Do not close. It should not close below this line here on the 30-minute. Therefore, we could see continuation in the trend here. Let's see. Is today a trend day or trap day for gold in your view? Um, so far, I think it's a trend day. But some days, like Mondays, can be tricky though. So trading Mondays can be very tricky. So you do have to keep that in mind. Typically, Monday is like a fuck off day. And then Tuesday, it will start, cleaning out and smoothing out a little bit. Let me take a sip here. How to avoid emotional trade? My most other losing trade made by emotional trades. So, how to avoid an emotional trade? The best thing you can do is the moment you enter on a trade and you're already feeling emotional, you are definitely risking too much. So the first thing is the moment you guys get in on a trade, if the moment you get in, you're already feeling uneasy, nervous, and weird, close the trade again, close it immediately because that is the first indication that you are risking too much. So close a trade and then reanalyze, okay, maybe I should halve the risk. So half the risk, get back in on a trade, and then see how you feel. If you still feel nervous as fuck, then you're still risking too much. So you close a trade again, you cut the risk in half again, and you do that rinse and rinse time and time again until you don't feel anything at all. Because if you get stopped out, you don't care, and if you win, you don't care. That's the mental state that you want to be in first, right? And let's say that when you risk $100 you still feel emotional, then reduce to risking only $50. If you would lose $50, would you still feel emotional? If yes, then minimize to $25. If you lose 25 and you're still emotional, then cut the risk to 1250, right? And now at 1250, that might be your top, right? Your range where honestly $12.50, if I lose this, I really don't care. That's where you want to get in. And then that will be the number that you will work with in your mind. So you start with 12.50, you don't feel shit. Increase to 15. How do you feel now? Increase to 20, increase to 25. And that day by day, step by step, you go increasing your mental barrier, your mental psychological barrier when it comes to numbers. And then one day you will be risking $1,000 and you won't feel anything because you've trained your mind to not care. But you guys have to find your threshold. Like, at what point do I start becoming emotional? And then that is a number that you want to work on increasing day by day. I hope that kind of helped. Would you trade gold during low volume periods or wait for volatility? I'm a great fan of volatility. So I always wait probably for like pre New York session or New York session to trade. Mm. Yeah, break even is the safest way for sure. How do you filter bad gold setups from high probability ones? So that's a great question, actually. So one thing that I do is I ask myself, I'll increase the writing here in a second. So the first thing I ask myself is this right here. Is that big enough? What is the trend? I hope you guys can read that. Can you guys see that in the stream? So, what is the trend? In this case, gold is bullish. So, I'm basically already removing 50% of my chances or of my decision making by making clear that the trend is bullish. So, hence, I'm looking only to buy, right? So that's the first decision I already made. Now, if I'm only looking to buy, where are the best areas to get in on a buy? Well, for that, I have my three different setups. First setup is a break and retest. Simple. Second setup is a bounce play. So when we see price kind of bouncing around and then breaking out right here, that's a bounce play. And then the third trade is a break of the high setup. These are all three bullish entries, okay? And these are the only three I use. So now I have the fact that I have three setups that I could be looking for. And that for, I will have my zones marked off. So I'll probably have like a support zone here, resistance over here, support zone here, resistance over here, same thing, right? So I have to wait for price to approach one of my areas of interest. Now, the second thing is, meaning, let's clone this, is price at my major area of interest, right? That's the second question that you guys have to ask yourself. If the answer is yes, then you come to the point 3. What setup am I waiting for? That's the third question you have to ask yourself. And now when I'm talking about setups, it's what I just mentioned. Break and retest, bounce play, or break of the high. And now once I get that, the last point is, did I get a 5-minute entry signal? Boom, right? That's the fourth question. So now we have, what is the trend? Is price at my major area of interest? What setup am I actually waiting for? And based on the setup I'm waiting for, did I get the entry signal for it? And if all the answers is yes, or if you can answer all your questions, this will make your trade a high probability trade because now you followed all of these rules. What would make a trade a not so high probability is, what is the trend? It's bullish, but I'm looking to sell. Okay, automatically not the best probability, so bad trade. Let's say the trend is bullish, I'm looking to buy, but price is not in my area of interest, it's just in the middle of nowhere. Low probability trade, don't want to take it. What setup am I waiting for? Let's say it is bullish, it is in my area of interest, but it's just chopping around, right? It's not really giving me anything, it's not giving me a setup, and I don't know what I'm waiting for. Then don't take the trade. And now, lastly, it could be bullish, could be in my area of interest. I could be waiting for a break and retest setup, but did I actually get my entry signal on the 5 or 15-minute time frame? If not, guess what? I'm not taking the trade. If yes, I will take the trade. And now I have all these boxes checked off, and the trade will automatically be the highest probability it could be. So I hope that kind of helped you guys. You can also copy this, like literally screenshot this for you, because this is, I think, very valuable. I even get emotional with a 0.01 on a 50K count. Damn, bro. Then you gotta work on them cents, bro. Ideal risk reward ratio is a 2-to-1. I like to trim my stop loss. Yes. If I close above a 2R multiple, I will trim my stop loss to at least a 1R. So it's like in a one like steps always. Opinion on trading gold on the 1 minute versus 5-minute chart. I believe that it can work on the 1 minute as well. You just have to train yourself to understand how the 1 minute likes to move. Because when the 5 minute just simply pushes bullish, like a bullish candle, the 1 minute will have a few bearish candles as well. So you have to understand and basically work with both together, I believe. But for me, the 1 minute is a little too low. It's a little too aggressive. So I like the 5 minute. Yeah, only trade A plus setups mainly. Sometimes A setups, right? B very rarely, and if I do trade a B, then it's with lower risk. If a person is going through a break even or drawdown, how long would it take? Gospel, honestly, there's no clear answer to that because it comes up to you. It really comes up to you. I cannot tell you, yeah, your drawdown phase will only go for a week, and after that, you will be the biggest trader ever. I cannot tell you that. I think that the answer for that question only you have. And the positive answer will come the moment you know what you're doing wrong, the moment you stop doing mistakes and repeating mistakes, and the moment you just start being disciplined. That's when you will see the level up. Yo, gold is looking pretty good right now, not gonna lie. Did the 15 close above? Yeah, kind of 30 minute already created the lower wick. Could pull back lower though. Did anybody get in on the buys here? Yes or no? Do you prefer trading gold from support and resistance or from liquidity zones? From support and resistance. I am a big fan of support and resistance. Would you take counter trend trade on gold today? Nope, I would not. What will make flip my bias? Okay, so what would make me flip my bias? My bias would flip the moment we start closing below this area here. So if price comes down below, what's that? Below the 45 or 4600s, the moment it starts coming back down and closing below, and I see strong selling momentum, then I will be bearish basically from this point down to this point over here, which is the 45.65. If it does also break this area here, I will be bearish back down into 45.45. And if it breaks that, then I will be down bearish to fill this gap here to 45.15. But I would first have to wait and see a 1 hour candle close below this range for me to flip my bias. As long as that does not happen, I'm still bullish biased. Gold forming any patterns today? I'm not really a pattern fan, honestly. The only pattern that I kind of like is head and shoulders, but like flags and stuff like that, I'm not really into. Head and shoulder pattern today, not really. Honestly, not really. Too easy. You're not late. You're never late, man. Uh, what do you mean with how to handle the situation for gold? Uh, Gold retracement weighted super trendy. Yeah, it might pull back. Might pull back. You enter the buy. Let's go. Gold trades overnight. I mean, you either kind of like hold gold long term because long term it will continue rising. So you could basically have like a investment account and just buy gold and just hold it for like months and years. But that will basically be a swing trading or investing account. But now overnight, honestly, not really a big fan of holding trades overnight generally, because I used to do that sometimes, and it would always mess with my psychology to a point where I just wasn't able to sleep well. And for us traders, we always want to be in the best mental state possible. And by me removing holding trades overnight or holding trades over the weekend, I just saw a improvement in my mindset and on my psychological side. So that's why I stopped holding overnight because that will allow me to sleep better. So it comes up to you. But then again, we have trending markets during New York, we have trending markets during London, and then during Asia session, typically, the trend will reverse to what the trend was during New York. So right now we are bullish, but there's also probability that during Asia session we will, have a bearish trend, and then during London session we will have a bullish trend again. Um, so yeah, anything can happen during Asia session. So you don't really want to have a trade open during your sleep. That's my personal opinion. Oh man, my wait, it's so hot in here. I had to open the window because it's hot in here. What mindset helps you avoid chasing gold after a big candle? Honestly, the most important thing is to just look at your risk ratio. So if a big candle has already like happened, oh shit. So if a big candle already happened, and let's say this bearish candle, right? Let's say you want to get in on this bearish candle for whatever reason, you want to get in on sales, but the candle move already happened. So let's say you get in here. What would your stop loss realistically, or where would it have to be realistically above the previous market structure point, which will be all the way up here, right? And then your target is where? Down here. So your risk ratio is negative. It's 0.6. It's literally no reason, or maybe even like if you're looking to target a 2-hour multiple, which should be the minimum, this is what the trade will look like. Would this satisfy you? No. So what do you want to wait for? If you're looking to sell, wait for a pullback in this area and just sit on your hands, because you will increase your risk ratio. And now from a 2 to 1, you turn this into a 7 or almost an 8 to 1. And if I give you the choice of would you rather have a 0.6 R multiple or a 1 to 8, I think you would probably always pick a 1 to 8, right? So that's how you have to ask yourself every time when the move already happened, would it make sense to get in here, or do I want to wait for price to be, closer to my entry area for a better R multiple? What do I tell myself after gold trade hits stop loss? Part of the game. Come back tomorrow. How do I avoid FOMO? By having rules, man. You have rules. It's basically all the steps I told you guys here. If one of these is not filled, I'm not taking the trade. So me by having these rules avoids me having like FOMO, because I want to wait. So typically to avoid FOMO would be this one here, right? So is price at my major area of interest? When we're talking of FOMO, it's probably way too far away from my area of interest, so I really shouldn't be taking this trade. So if this point is already not met, then I'm not going to be taking the trade. Okay, let me close the window now. All right, guys. Um, FX Diana, thank you so much for the great questions today. Honestly, you kept me talking nonstop. Now let's start with a giveaway, guys. So in order to enter a giveaway, all you have to do is leave a like on the stream and then comment hashtag gold all in small. So hashtag gold if you want to win a 10K challenge today, hashtag gold and a like on the stream, and you guys will automatically be entered into the giveaway. And I'm gonna make sure to prepare everything. Also, if you already won a challenge, feel free to let us know, like in case you win one, so we can give it to somebody else that has never won before. Because I do want to, give back to the entire community as well. I want to everybody have a challenge. Remember to leave a like on the stream. I will be double checking if you guys actually liked it. If not, then Your challenge account will be retrieved. um, YouTube giveaway. Why is it not loading, bro? What's going on? It's like taking a little bit to load right now. I don't know what's up with the platform. What's up with this, bro? Come on now. Let's try again. Damn, guys, it's not loading, man. The giveaway platform is laggy. Laggy, laggy, laggy. So we're probably gonna have to do it differently. Damn. Come on, man. Is it with my Wi-Fi? Am I lagging? I don't think so. No, the platform is down, guys. I'm sorry, it's not working. So we're gonna have to do it differently today. So, firstly, I would like to give one account to um damn, you guys are like literally spamming right now. What was her name? FX Diana. So FX Diana, I would like to give you one today because you were very active in the chat. You ask a lot of questions, and I really appreciate you supporting us and supporting me. So first challenge, 10K challenge goes to FX Diana, and now the other two, let's do it a little bit more random. Wow, I'm actually lagging. That's crazy. Wow, I'm actually lagging. That's crazy. Okay, so the other two, I'm just gonna scroll in the comment section, right, and then just pick a random winner. Because I really don't like this option because the more you guys basically write and spam, the likelier. But let's see. Uh, so it was, where's that? Too easy, too easy. 324. Did you already won one before or not? If not, then congratulations. You are the second winner. Too easy. And the last winner is. Last winner is Trader Awashti. Awasti. Trader Awasti. Congratulations, you are the third winner. Let's go. Let's go, guys. Spam some W's for the winners. I will try to fix that that giveaway type vibe for next stream, but it was literally not my fault. I think it's really the platform that wasn't working. So sorry I had to do it this way today. But nevertheless, congrats to Diana, to Awashti, and to who was the other one? Too easy. Congratulations, guys. So in order to claim your challenge, make sure to go and head to our Discord and send a message to Andre, who is our support manager, and he will issue you guys with the accounts. But do keep in mind, he has a lot of work to do still, so he still has to catch up a little bit. So please be patient with him, right? If it takes a few days or a week to issue the accounts, maybe faster, I don't know. But just please be patient. Don't spam us or whatever. But yeah, let me actually screenshot the names so he knows who. FX Diana. Okay. Um and Too Easy. Where's Too Easy there? All right. Now I got your names secured. I'll send them to Andre as well so you can get your accounts issued. All right, let's go back to gold for now. Um let's see what we get. So as of right now, it's still kind of holding above the range. I don't know why, but I feel like this probably was just like a liquidity grab, and we might see price come back down. Honestly, I don't know why, but I'm feeling it. My intuition is telling me, but I might be wrong. So if this 5 minute closes above this range again, right, and just breaks out, then I do believe that it could hit TP here. But if we close back under, how many minutes for the 15? 6 minutes. Yeah, so if it closes bearish engulfing, um, I do see it kind of coming back down to at least break even here. That's just my take. But I could be wrong, man. At the end, we never know. You still have a question, D4X? Yes, please ask. Ask me. I'll try to go over the question here before heading off. You're welcome, trader on my watch sheet. I got 10 lose streaks in a row, but I trade 6R multiple. Is it worth it, or is my strategy faulty? Wow. Okay. Okay. Let's break this down. Let me open the needed chart for your question, okay? Just give me 1 second, I'll prepare it. Let me share my screen and this. Wait, no, that's the wrong screen. My bad. This one. Okay. So now we got it. So you're saying you have a 1 to 6 R multiple, but you had 10 losses in a row. So we are assuming that based on this chart, okay, let's work with 1 to 5 first, okay? So on a 1 to 5, you would be in profit if you win 2 out of 10 trades. Meaning that if you're looking for 1 to 6, you need to win at least one out of 10 trades. No, actually, you also need to win at least 2. So if you have 10 trades in a row that you lost, I think you have to work on your win rate actually. You do have to work, like you have to win at least 2 out of 10 trades to be profitable with a 1 to 6. So meaning that the higher the risk reward ratio that you're looking for, the higher the losses, right? That's totally normal. So the higher the risk reward ratio, the lower your win rate. That is normal, which is why 1 to 5, you will still be in profit if you only win 2 out of 10. But I personally would recommend like a nice median, right? So if you're like at least looking for a 3 to 1, um, you would only need to win 3 out of 10 trades to be profitable. And I think 3 out of 10 trades will be possible if you have like if you work on your strategy itself, you know. So if that kind of cleared it. But 10 losses in a row, there might be something that you have to fix. Like there might be something you have to fix because you would have to win at least like 1 or 2 if your target is a 1 to 6, you know. Do I ever trade silver? Gives good moves too. No, I personally don't, honestly. I'm good with gold. I'm pretty good with gold. Looking forward to having you next week. Appreciate you, William. All right, guys, I'm gonna end the stream here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I wish everyone good luck and success on this week. On gold overall, like I said, I'm still pretty bullish, but just keep it in the back of your head. We are trading all-time highs. So if you get in on a trade, make sure to get in and get out fairly quick. Look at least for a 2 hour multiple. Wait for your entry confirmations in the 5 minute time frame. And yeah, that's it for me today, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week.